All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Autonomy podcast. And today I am welcomed by Ashwin. How are you, man?
Very well. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you very much for taking the time in your busy Friday to jump in on this podcast with me. I really appreciate it. And if you guys don't know, Ashwin is my client as well. We work together. He's been really good client and absolutely smashing it. And he went to the New York event as well that took place a couple months ago. And he met with Nathan and the rest of the team. So welcome in, Ashwin. Thank you very much for taking this opportunity. I want to start by asking you, how do you feel right now?
Thank you very much for having me on the podcast. Really appreciate sharing my thoughts here. Honestly, you and Nathan and the team have made this such a breeze that I feel like all the initial thoughts I had about, will I be able to do this? Will I not be able to do this at the start of the program? I think now it's become almost second nature to me. So I feel fantastic. You guys should thank for it.
Absolutely, man. And it's all your hard work and dedication that you have put in place as well, which made you lose so far like 30 pounds, which is absolutely amazing. Still, like, we're very close to the target that we have set for ourselves. How do you feel about reaching that target? And how do you feel about losing those 30 pounds so far?
The last time I was 20 pounds lighter was probably when I first started my undergrad, which is like, oh my gosh, I'm dating myself here. It's like 12, 13 years ago. Probably the lowest weight I was at that time. I felt great back then, and I feel amazing right now. I'm seeing visible changes in my face, so that's good. I'm seeing that I feel looser in my clothes. That's also very good, but also at the same time, it's a little bit weird because my clothes look too baggy when I go out, so, it's fine. I'll deal with it for now. So I'm looking very close to just reaching my target weight, and then we can go on to the next phase. So
yeah, I would say the only disadvantage is you need to change your whole wardrobe after this is done, right?
I love shopping, so that's totally fine. Looking forward to it.
There you go. Problem solved. Let me ask you this, like, what got you to actually get started with autonomy or deciding to do something about your health and weight?
It's a great question. I think it was somewhere around last year when I really wanted to get more active. And honestly, at that point, I thought, okay, if I were more active, I did not give too much of a thought into my diet and, I'll be okay. Like, I started really like working out / getting into a lot of sports. I love playing sports or just, activities wise. Like, I live in Boston, in the city. There's a lot of like cool places to just walk around. I love taking photography, so just being out in nature. So I thought just being active would help me lose the weight. And honestly, I went into a rhythm where I lost some weight. I was really happy about it. And then I'm also a foodie, which is a disadvantage where I get to eat a lot of food and then, I can pick the weight back up again. Really, the biggest thing was, I think towards December, this was during my company's holiday event. It was like a black tie event. I wanted to wear my tuxedo. It became a huge surprise to me that I would only fit into a size 48 jacket. I did not realize that I had grown that much, with all the food and around the holiday time, everyone eats, right? Like, it's pretty common for all that. So that was a real wake-up call for me. I feel okay going out and like being active, but at the same time, I'm eating just as much, and I didn't see that impact that I wanted to see. Surprisingly enough, Nathan's post was coming online for me on Instagram, and I just took the decision one day the very next day, I was actually traveling to London for some work before going to Abu Dhabi. So in London, I just ended up seeing one of Nathan's posts. Immediately messaged him in the airport before heading home to Abu Dhabi to see my parents for the holidays. I signed up for your program. It started up from there.
I remember because, when you started, I was like, hey, I'm going to start, after I come back from the trip. I just, I'm traveling. So it's like,
yeah, I know. I started later, but I'm like, okay, this seems about right. I didn't want to start on January 1st because that seems too cliched for me. So that's why I'm like, either before or just after, totally fine. I'm not doing a January 1st start.
Yeah, that is really great to hear, man. It's always that drive and motivation that gets us going as well. Especially as this is a journey, and sometimes it has its obstacles and sometimes it has difficulties that we try to overcome by looking at the big goal. And what is my big goal? Okay, I'm going to keep pushing. So my next question to you would be, what helped you remain consistent throughout this journey so far?
The answer is you made it super easy for me to be accountable. Or, sometimes I do once every 2 or 3 days because I'm busy with work. But at least you've drilled it into my head with this program that just be honest with what you've eaten throughout your day, how much steps you've taken, what are you weighing each day, right? So just doing that on a 2-3 day basis, you're able to easily course correct if something's going wrong, or if you think that you need to adjust something to do that. That micro adjustments over the course of these 5-ish months that we've been working together, Judy, that's been extremely helpful for me. First of all, it gave me the opportunity to hold myself accountable, right? At the end of the day, I answer to me. I also answer to you, right? But you're super nice about everything, that it's like I don't feel bad for eating a cheat meal every once and again. But at the same time, I need to look at myself in the mirror and say, okay, I like what I'm seeing versus I'm not really liking what I'm seeing, right? So just doing that, journaling it down, being accountable to you. And when I look at myself in the mirror, I feel like I'm being accountable to myself too. That's what kept me consistent.
Absolutely, Matt. This is great. And sometimes we know what we need to do, but that push of support and accountability is that layer, that extra layer that gets us to that next level, right?
100%.
Absolutely. What did you feel like you learned throughout these past 5 months that you did not know about as well?
I think the key thing was nutrition, right? I did not realize like how many calories I'm consuming just by having X number of rotis, Y number of rotis. I think Nathan and even you, everyone, through your YouTube videos versus all the time we've spent together, Judy, you've given me a great personalized plan. You guys really listened to me. Like, I told you, hey, I really like my paneer. I want to eat my paneer as much as possible. It has great amount of protein, but just make some changes. Don't add a whole lot of ghee to your food. Don't add a ton of oil. Just do no calories raise or whatever. These little changes here and there that helps me cut off extra calories that I really don't need, but also making sure that I'm used to feel like a big change, right? I like eating delicious food, but now I'm also looking at, hey, this is, probably not terrible, right? I'm still eating the same amount of food.
So you were saying these little changes and then you cut off.
See, these little changes that you said, these different modifiers have given me, it didn't feel like a massive change, right? I was used to eating good food, and I still feel like I'm eating good food right now, just with more healthier choices. Especially your program's rule on like one plate rule. Just whatever you want. Well, not exactly whatever you want, but fill it with protein, fill it with veggies, fill it with a certain amount of other veggies or lentils or whatever that makes you full. I think one plate is all you need. And all these little changes, while still, I'm eating for taste, but I'm also eating healthy and making sure that I'm not overstuffing myself, right? Keeping everything in moderation. That was a huge lesson learned for me. And, this feels like, okay, I'm always looking forward to that, even if I'm going outside and eating, right? I'm not stuffing myself with too much food that I don't require. So
it's always interesting to see how much hidden calories are in a meal that we are usually not aware of, that when we actually analyze the meal, I was like, okay, there's this, there's that. I was like, now it's interesting.
Yeah, exactly. It's crazy. Like, I didn't realize that you had so much of calories in milk even, right? You told me, hey, go for 2% milk or non-fat milk instead. I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, we look at something as simple as coffee. Like, hey, I can drink 3 cups of coffee, but with full milk and sugar, you're talking about 600 calories, and we're not speaking about food yet.
Yeah, exactly. So your whole thing about just cutting out liquid calories was super helpful to me, right? Getting your energy and calories from proteins and veggies are so much more important than just getting it from drinks. So yeah.
Absolutely, man. I'm interested to know now about, you mentioned that you like to play sports before. So even before joining that program, and you used to play football, and we used to chat about football, or soccer as they call it in America, and you played tennis as well before. How do you feel, Ashwin, who was playing football or tennis, who was at 115 kilos versus today's Ashwin, who's around 95?
Funnily enough, I'll still call it football. I will not call it soccer. Maybe to an American, I'll call it soccer, but football require a whole team to play with, right? And I always used to play in defense or in goal because, I had a bigger frame. I could easily intimidate people. I'm not the best at football at all, but, it's okay. It helped keep me healthy back then, right? I used to play a lot of pickleball and volleyball last year with my office friends and whatnot. So that was really helpful as I was getting that activity, right? I started tennis this year because, again, my best friends over here, they did not like playing pickleball. They're like, okay, I'm going to teach you how to play tennis instead. And that got me even hooked on tennis now, right? So I picked up a new sport during the course of our program. And honestly, that really gave me a good variety because at the same time, I find it a little bit boring to do elliptical or treadmill in the gym, not crapping on it. It's good exercise, but going out there in fresh air, just playing with some friends and just talking afterwards. I used to play for like an hour or hour and a half. I used to lose about 1,000 calories. My whoop used to tell me, hey, you're losing 1,000 calories and you have this amount of strain. I feel so great. Your strength training and everything is obviously really helpful. Don't get me wrong, but this is also like just being more lighter helped me become more agile. I'm able to move more freely. And I think the stamina just feels just, it's there. I'm able to just play for a little bit longer and overall just be happy doing it.
Absolutely, man. And to agree with your point, like put me on a football field any time of the day, I would pick that over 1,000 elliptical, trust me. So totally get it. Yeah, but really great to hear, because at the end of the day, this is what we are using our body for, to enjoy the things that we like to enjoy and we mostly enjoy. Why do we work out in the gym? Because we want to be able to enjoy our body while playing football, doing those activities, hanging out with our friends. This is really the goal of taking care of yourself, right?
Agreed. 100%. I think at the end of the day, you're forming social bonds outside, and you could do it sitting around in a dinner table eating good food, or just playing sports and still getting to know each other while playing, right? So either way, I think I would prefer just being out, being active. Now it's nice weather outside in Boston, so I'm able to do that outdoors. Probably not so much in the snow, like you and I know. Like I used to tell you, it's dark at 4 p.m. in the evening over here, right? I'm not able to go out. And you told me, hey, just get a walking pad and watch your favorite shows and just get some steps in. That's obviously going to be so much more useful if you're not able to get out and go out into the open. So that's, again, great tips.
Absolutely, man. Now let's talk about the event as well you participated in. How did it feel to actually get there, meet with the team, one, and two, also meet with other clients who have been going with similar struggles like you? We always think like, okay, it's me and my coach, and no one is like, struggling like me or with me. And then you go and you meet other people who got results like you, and they're also went through the same obstacles and struggles like you.
First of all, I wanted to go there because I see all your faces in the screen. I wanted to see you guys in real life. It felt like going into New York wasn't too far from where I am in Boston. So, and it was a weekend, so it was a good day. Just drove and decided to meet the team. When I got there, everyone was super helpful, super nice. Just felt like, hey, we're all a big family. Just come in. We did a little workout session first and then got ourselves a little bit sweaty. It didn't feel like I was doing a massive workout, but again, I was sweating, which was great because achieved the intended result over there. And, just meeting everyone else, like the other folks in the program, it was a big scale, right? Like I'm somewhere in the middle where I got some results, but I'm still not exactly where I want to go yet. So I've met people who are just starting, who were asking my advice, and I gave honest advice on where I started. But at the same time, I also saw people who were completely shredded, like photo shoot ready. And I'm like, okay, you guys are where I want to be now and aspiring, and I can actually ask, did you do to get to that next step, and get some insights on what they did to get there. So it was a great spread of things, right? I was just in the right sweet spot to give advice, give back, but also reach out to folks who have been with you guys for over a year now. And then at the end, just take some good photos, right? And have fun. Like talking to Nathan, I was just talking to him about watches because he also likes watches like I do. And I know, Judy, you also like them. So, we just bonded over talking about that and talking about what everyone's doing in New York and talking about the sports and whatnot. So overall, it seemed like I was meeting a friend, not, a trainer who's big and scary and makes me feel intimidated. So, yeah.
Absolutely, man. It's all about building that community. And we can see also with the South Asian community that this bond is there. You tend to know the South Asian community that is around you, or you tend to know your Indian neighbors, or something like that. It's always forming that connection wherever you are in the world.
100%. Yeah. It just felt natural. So it was always great to come to these type of events. Yeah.
And how did you feel like the event or attending that event impacted your approach to your journey afterwards when you came back home?
I certainly felt more motivated, right? What are the different changes I need to see in my body before getting there? I think it was at the right time as well, right? And I was somewhere in between, the journey when we began, Judy, and, in most events, you might see situations where people might start giving up or start slacking a little bit because bodies are not changing. So I think the event came at the right time where I got that extra dose of motivation. This is where I'm going to go. And because I also remember around that time, I had traveled to Houston for work, and I had gained a little bit of weight while coming back because nothing is ever in moderation in the food I had in Houston, right? So I had a little bit of a setback, but I was also looking for motivation to come back and provided an extra dose of motivation. And I haven't looked back ever since, right? So, yeah.
Absolutely, man. It's always great to have these different events happening because it kind of pulls us back in and also puts us back on the right track. Because let's say your motivation now is not like your motivation 6 months ago, and it's not going to be the same. So we always find ways to keep ourselves hyped, I would say.
Agreed. Like you also said, you're preparing yourself for an event, so you just got to go extra hard at that, right? So just doing that extra level of preparation was also super helpful and something to look forward to, right? So,
Yeah, absolutely, man. What do you feel like you're going to take from this journey that will stay on with you for the rest of your life?
I think that discipline and accountability, first of all, that itself is my baseline for what I'm working with now. Just be active, get your 10,000 steps in, and even 12,000 or more if you can. But at the same time, journal everything down and have everything in moderation that you're going to have. Don't beat yourself up if you have some off-plan meals here and there. It's not the end of the world. You can always come back and fight back. But again, hold yourself accountable that you do something extra to try and offset what you've done. I think those types of advice that you've given to me, Judy, I think that really resonated with me. That stuck with me, right? Like, for example, if I've gone out with some of my buddies and gone out and had some pizza or something, you told me, okay, that's fine. Don't beat yourself up over it. Like, not eat carbs for the next 2 days and try to see how that works out. And yeah, that kept me motivated, right? You didn't make me feel bad about eating something that I wasn't supposed to eat. And that little bit of gentle nudging to make sure that you're accountable to yourself, I think that's something I'm going to keep in my mind as I grow old as well. And just that added level of being more active, I think that's something I'm going to take from this as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned something very important, and it's amazing actually, because it's dealing with the consequences of our choices. Like, yeah, I indulge on this meal, but what am I going to be doing differently? Or how am I going to change things going forward or the next few days to course correct this? And that will always keep you accountable in everything you do in life. You know what I mean?
100%. Yeah. You said, don't beat yourself up over it. Certainly that type of advice that you guys try and give to your clients, don't change that ever.
Absolutely, man. So my last question to you would be also, it like revolves around what you answered right now, which is like, what are tips or what would you tell somebody who is just starting on their journey or even thinking about doing those changes, but there's always that smoke screen that is preventing us from doing something?
At least in my opinion, right? Everyone will be on different journeys or different reasons for why they join this program, right? But one thing, at least from my perspective, key tips are just don't be afraid. Just take the leap, go in, and certainly go in with an open mind. Be open to say that, okay, I want to try. I know what result I want, but, just be open in terms of like, okay, I need to do this to get there. Be ready to make that sacrifice if need be. Because I remember the very first time we spoke, Judy, you gave me like one roti to eat for dinner. I'm like, will I be satisfied with one roti? And you're like, just try. So just having an open mind and you're like, okay, fine, let me try it. And I felt it, it was great. I didn't feel like I was hungry at the end of the night, right? So those little tips seems off to you at first. Just try it. Just be open about it. So that's certainly one aspect of it. I think the second one, hold yourself accountable, right? At the end of the day, your trainers are here to help you. They are invested in making sure that you succeed, and they will do whatever they can to make sure. They are super helpful in adjusting plans and making sure that it fits your purpose, right? Again, it's not one rigid training plan that you have to stick to and make yourself miserable over it, right? So the tips I would have is like, if you feel like you're miserable over the course of the program with autonomy, speak to your trainer, and I think they will tell you, we can change something for you. You don't have to be miserable doing this, because weight loss is not always scary. It's just making sure that you're making small changes that compound into bigger and better impacts. Lastly, just have fun with it. This is going to be a journey that will hopefully be a lifestyle choice for you. I think that's how you should look at it. So just making sure that you're healthy and happy at the end of it, that's the biggest thing that you'll gain from this program. Just be open to it.
Absolutely. These are really, really great tips and super useful, because this is what we see across the board in everyone who's trying to change their life, and they're intimidated by, can I do it? What is what's the barrier here? I don't think I can survive on one roti. You know what I mean? Like, all of these are sometimes like, just barriers that we create for ourselves.
I felt that way the very first day. You immediately made me forget that. It's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, I'm really looking forward as well to meeting you on the Dubai photo shoot in October. And I think that would be really, really lovely to get you on that second photo shoot, and also to meet the rest of the team, because everyone's going to be there. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So really great to have you today, Ashwin. I really, really enjoyed my time with you, and it was great to chat with you. Even though I'm your coach and we've been working together for 6 months, I still discovered a lot of things about you and about like, your journey, which is like really great to know. know as well.
Yeah, it's great to know. And certainly when I meet you in Dubai, we'll talk about Inter Milan and Manchester United, our respective teams that we love and support, even though they don't perform the best always. It's good banter. We just have fun with it when we meet in person. Yeah,
exactly. Now, every time I do your check-ins, I have to speak about football for 2 minutes.
Yes, I enjoy that always. I always look at it. I'm like, okay, my first thing when I do my checking with you is always like, okay, how did Inter Milan do? Right. So I always think back to that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry you guys lost the Champions League, but it's fine. It is what it is.
What can you do? And then we'll speak about watches as well with Nathan when you meet again.
There you go. Well, we'll do that.
All right. All right, Ashwin. Well, thank you very much for taking the time to jump in on the podcast. It was really a pleasure, man.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Absolutely. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for tuning in for this podcast. And I hope you enjoyed it. And I will catch you guys later in another episode of the Autonomy Podcast. Thank you.